welcome to the Beverage Podcast, episode 29. This week, my guest is Jerry Hinkle.
Hi.
Jerry, thanks for being here.
It's awesome to be
Jerry
here. Thank you.
is you're still my comic book guy, but you used to run
From the Capital Comic.
Capital Comics
Yep.
and their indicator.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has gone away.
Yes. All that money laundering. Yeah, you got in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't launder money.
No. Just things went sour, and I've decided to close her up, and now I'm doing more commercial and commission artwork. I work radio on the weekend, and then I watch my friend's um, business establishment, which allows me to paint while I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Jerry's a real good
Create when I
artist, so
want
if you
to.
need a painting, you just go to him. I'm sure we'll have all your info at the end, but Jerry,
Yes, I will.
great to have you here. Why don't you tell me what you did this week?
This week I worked a lot. And then when I wasn't working, I slept. But no, I got caught up on a little bit of TV. I was falling behind on Flash, so
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch up to I think the next to last episode of the season. So I'm saving those two for probably tomorrow night.
Yep. Flash is
I
great. I
actually
love
really
it.
like how they're handling that too.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about time remnants?
If you gotta have a device that helps for your story, great.
Because it feels like no one understands what a time remnant is.
My biggest problem on the show is I'm getting really tired of Zoom. When you take
Zoom.
like the whole season to run after Zoom, it's it's the most focal point is that one villain. Throw in some more villains and don't just keep having doppelgangers from other
Mm-hmm.
universes. It's kind of boring. Go
I
ahead.
remember last season they were saying Meister was supposed to be on this season, and you don't think he was.
No, unless if he was peddling on the streets and that was the Mirror Man. What
Yeah.
I
I'll
didn't
be
catch him,
interested
but
to see what you think
yeah,
of the end. Have you been spoiled for the end of this season?
I haven't been spoiled by it. I kind of stay away from that, especially when I'm watching a series. I just recently this week had a book series that I've been trying to get through that has like 7 or 8 books to it, and I'm only like through the second one, and someone told me the end of the entire series run, and it's one of those feudal. It's like, should I even bother continuing right now?
I know. That sucks.
I'll still read it.
It's like a Lost. People always say Lost is so great, but it's like I know how it ends, and
Dude, I
I
had
know it's about the journey, but it's like never. I don't even care.
there was so much of a better ending they could have done with that. And I always like played with the idea since it was ABC, they should have had a part where that huge wheel of power that they're trying to open up and everything, if they were able to pop the top of it and inside, like all the energy like explodes out of it, and there's just these two humanoid bodies inside, and they're both wearing like identical shirts or suits, but one is an older. It looks like a taller gentleman, and the other one is like a little person. And like you find out that it was actually Fantasy Island. And Mr. like lost the battle with the devil, and like all the energy was stored in there, and then the island was just trying to provide fantasies for everybody, and there was no control. That would have made a better ending, I think.
That would have been cool.
Fantasy Island. That's I was like, why can't we go there?
That would have been awesome.
That's just how I write things.
All right, so you've been watching you catching up on the Flash.
On
You
the
been doing
Flash.
anything else?
I'm really behind on Arrow. I think I'm probably about 8 episodes behind on that, which I really need to get caught up on that. I've been, like I
This
said,
season
just trying
sucks.
to get caught up on. Hmm?
I was saying this season of Arrow is kind of a stinker in my opinion, but
You know how much problems they would just get through life if they just fessed up and talked to one another?
yeah,
Let's hold this secret because I have to protect you. Well, they're going to find out and they're just going to be pissed. Just go ahead and tell him the truth. Be like, hey, look, it's kind of hard, but I'm Green Arrow. If you couldn't catch that, I do all the things that he does, and my face.
That's true.
I'm kind of. Why not just get a full hood over it? You're not fooling anyone. Sorry.
All right. What were you saying before I interrupted you?
I don't know.
Catching up on Air. You're 8 episodes behind.
Yeah, catching up on Arrow. Then I just started way behind on everything. Just started the Blacklist, which really liked the first episode, and I'm looking forward to it. So please, nobody spoil it for me.
That's right.
Got like
Nobody
three.
spoil it.
Oh, and Hell on Wheels. I've been watching that one. It finally returned back after their hiatus.
I don't know what that is.
It's set for the building of the railroad system and back in the olden days.
Hmm.
It's pretty gritty and rough, but I like it, and I like it. Gritty and rough.
That's cool.
Thank you. And then, of course, since Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead are on their breaker times, I was lucky to find that Hell on Wheels had returned. So that's pretty much what I've been. And At Midnight, I've been watching a lot of At Midnight. All the episodes I keep missing.
I keep hearing that's good. I don't watch TV though. I don't have cable in my room, so
Get Hulu or Netflix.
I have Netflix.
Get Hulu. I also watched the one called The Path. That I think I'm one episode away from the end on that one. That's kind of a weird one. It's like kind of a cultish story, and once again, it's one of those. If people would just be honest with one another, and also believe what the people are saying, and not just instantly have a mindset that well, then again, there wouldn't be any drama on the show. Who was that? Was
I
that
don't.
beep on me or you?
I don't know. It's not on mine. I don't think.
I think it might have been on mine. My bad. I apologize to everybody for that.
It's okay. Whenever you hear the beep, drink. It's a new game.
Yeah. If you don't hear the beep, drink until you hear the beep. What are you drinking?
Mountain Dew,
Oh,
as per usual.
oh, I didn't. I thought we were like really we were getting liquored up or something. I chose poorly
Alrighty. Is that all you've been doing?
or wisely. Yeah, pretty much that, and doing a lot of painting. I just finished a painting of pink for a friend of mine who this was actually the third one I did in the last 2 weeks.
Cool. Uh, yeah. What I've been doing? I downloaded a
Oh,
Dragon
sorry,
Ball.
Tucker. What have you been doing?
Oh, thanks for asking.
Hey, no problem.
I downloaded a new game on my phone called Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And if you know anything about me, you know that I like two things, Dragon Ball Z and comic books. So I've basically just been doing that
And games.
nonstop. And it's really well made because you always feel like you're trying to accomplish something, and you don't need to pay money to actually win. It's like you can buy like more dragon stones to get more characters, or like you don't even need to pay money to replenish your uh, stamina to keep playing, because you could just you get dragon stones to replenish your stamina, and you get one after each mission. So it's like you can just keep playing infinitely, basically, as long as you resource manage well. And you could like get you because you're always like trying to get a mission, do missions to get dragon stones to unlock more characters, and you're like leveling up characters, and it's a lot of fun
So you'll
if
play.
you like Dragon Ball Z.
Right. You'll be there till like your death door. You'll be playing this game, right?
Basically, that's my plan.
You got to leave it to somebody in your will.
You gotta log in every day so you can get all those free dragon stones.
So
Um,
what if you miss a day?
I guess it restarts because there's like goals. If you log in like 30 days in a row, you get something. If you log in 60 days in a row, you get something. And I've been going every day basically.
So basically, what's going to happen is when you kick the bucket, you'll just be screaming from the unknown, going, "Somebody log me in!
Somebody keep playing.
Playing my character."
Ah. Yeah. And then last weekend, I went to Six Flags with
I
my
saw you
friend.
had pictures that you went to and you got to ride one of the rides. Was it the oh it used to be something and they changed it?
Yeah, they played. They changed Scooby Doo into Justice League,
Yeah, there you go.
and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so cool!" I was like so pumped, and the person I was with did not care at all. And I was
That
like,
makes the fun of the enjoyment of the ride
"Yeah,"
when somebody doesn't care when you ride.
hmm because the outside looks just like the Hall of Justice. It looks so cool. And I remember I took a Snapchat of like it said Hall of Justice, and then you pan to the side, and there's that gift shop called the Justice League headquarters, and I was just like, okay, that's the Justice League headquarters. What's that? I was just
Yeah,
like,
that's a double title there.
hmm
Now, so with the Scooby Doo one, what did you get in? Like what was it before? Like did you since it wasn't a Hall of Justice, was it like you just got into the back of a van?
yeah, they were just like uh, vans, I guess, just like cars with like the color scheme on them, and you had your guns, and you shot spooky people with your guns,
I
and got points.
I don't remember guns in Scooby Doo.
It's just like one of those like blasty games. I think there's a Men in Black one at Universal Studios. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like
they had something like Buzz
there's all sorts of
Lightyear at
stuff.
Disney World.
Yeah, it's just like that. Basically, you just drive it through a set track and you shoot lights. Well, that's how the Scooby Doo one was. This one was well, I'll get to it. But like when you first go in, it's just an empty room. Which there was some banners. It's like you could have put like something, make like the trophy room or something
No, dude,
cool
all they
for
had
the
to do
entryway.
just make
What's
that
that?
big room that was on
What was what?
the big room on the Superfront where there was nothing in that room except for like a table and that big computer because Super Friends back in the 70s was very limited on what they drew. Have it very bare like that.
That's what it felt like, because there was just like a bare room with six banners. It said like loyalty, justice, freedom. It's just like you could put. It'd be cool if it was like displays, like something for you to look at as you went through. But it's kind of
Yeah.
cheap, and it was basically. And
It's
then
like,
there was like TVs that were playing on loop of like what's happening, like Wonder Woman's been kidnapped or something. All these people have been kidnapped, and they're like recruiting pedestrians to try and save the Justice League,
people, we've hit the bottom of the barrel. It's you.
basically. And what I was sort of peeved me is like Wonder Woman and Supergirl both got captured. It's like the two women of the Justice League both got captured.
Sorry, ladies.
Sorry, equality. uh, and at first I thought because there was like each symbol was they had like symbols for each one. They're like different colors for like if they've been captured, and I thought that one S was Shazam, not Supergirl. And I was like, why Supergirl on the Justice League? We already have Superman. Which I was like, I guess we need another girl.
Yeah, we have to even it out. Oh, they could have had Mary Marvel on there.
I guess. People wouldn't really know who Mary Marvel is though.
Let them know. Let them teach them. Tucker, you go out there. That's your new job. Have you know?
Mary Marvel Awareness Society.
Do you know about Mary Marvel? Can I tell
Yeah.
you about her?
So yeah, so you go through like two rooms that are basically empty, and then you get into the main area, and they had like a full like animatronic cyborg guy, and he was pretty awesome. He's like moving, and his
Well,
mouth
it'd
is
have to.
moving, but it's not like synced up to the voice, so he's just like "Ah, rah, 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 rah,"
You can put Cheetos in his mouth and he chews it, and that's about it.
basically.
Yeah,
And
it had to be better after those first two rooms of nothing.
basically, he was pretty cool. And then we got in, and it was a 4D, 3D ride. So you have your 3D glasses on, and you go through the ride, and there are some like animatronic elements that were cool. Like the Joker, like shoots. There's like a Joker in like a tank, and he shoots like green gas at you, and you're like, whoa! But then you go to like these screens, just like screens that are 3D like videos, and you shoot your gun, and you could see it on the screen as you shoot it, and you're trying to like hit certain robots. It was very unclear what you were supposed to be shooting, uh, and it was very confusing. And like the car is like shaking because it's 4D, and like the fourth dimension is like the car shakes basically. And then it would when it moves, you'd go through some more like live action, or like animatronics in between screens that you'd stop at. And it was sort of confusing, but I got the high score, so
Could
I
you
don't.
probably just shot everything.
Basically, what everyone was doing,
Like, what about the
they were just shooting at everything.
I'll save everyone by killing everybody.
Basically, so yeah, I was pretty disappointed.
Right.
It would have been cooler if it was like the Scooby Doo and it was like all animatronics. It was just like the little lights you have to shoot instead of like this confusing 3D thing.
I will probably write it if I ever go to Six Flags.
It's cool. It's interesting because now they don't do day passes; they just do summer passes, and they're the same price. So you can just get a summer pass at the beginning of summer, and if you ever want to go back, you could just go.
That's cool.
hmm But yeah, that's what I did.
It's better.
Are you ready to get into the news, Jerry?
Yeah, roll the news.
Ba-doop boop ba-doop boop.
Was
Uh,
that the news?
yes. We got Justice League news.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was? I haven't watched that video in a while.
It was about the guy going to the set and getting to see cool things and not showing any pictures and just talking about it.
Right, he's talked about
Like what we're gonna do right now.
yeah, basically. I'm gonna put all the links to all these stories in like the show notes, but I remember he talked about like I don't remember at all.
He
I
talked
should
about the
have.
costumes and that he got to see how some of the things have changed. The Batman costume had a little more blue hue into it, and the Wonder Woman costumes were. He said they were a little more blue, a little more vibrant. I think they were going for coming out of the darkness, giving a little more hope and color and life to the Justice League movie. So that way, everything's been so dark and grim. It's time to like, I guess, give us real heroes, not just thugs that beat each other up because
Mm,
you know, they don't have a way to communicate to one another other than saying that name. So, if he'd said that at the beginning, he was like, "He's got my mom. He's gonna kill her." That's all it really took.
oh yeah, I remember that
Ate her main Martha too.
they confirmed that Steppenwolf is the villain
Yeah,
again,
Steppenwolf's coming in. Um,
which is like who cares?
mm,
No one even knows who that is.
right, right. If you're not familiar with Darkseid and his crew, why not have Granny Goodness for that matter?
Or anyone that's even remotely recognizable for your very first ever Justice League movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a character that I barely even know who he is, and I read
What'd
comic
be
books
great
since
is
I
if
was. What's that?
I was gonna say what would have been great is if they actually did have Granny Goodness and had it played by the person that did Granny Goodness's voice on the cartoon. It was Ed Asner, the old guy, man. Just have him dressed up as a lady who's wanting to get all the kitties. That would be awesome.
Do you watch Orange Is the New Black?
Yes, I do.
I, I think the lady who plays Red would be a good Granny Goodness. The
Kate
Russian lady.
Mulgrew, yeah,
She'd be good.
yeah. There was Jane, that's Catherine Janeway from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
She looks different. I didn't really watch for it that much
bit
Star
old-
Trek, but
bit older there.
yeah, she'd be a good Granny Goodness.
Yeah, oh yeah, she would be. But then again, Ed Asner, oof,
Either one.
yeah, I'd watch it.
Yep.
But he had talked about some of the sets they had, some of the vehicles that they were going to have there. Apparently, there was going to be some kind of walker that Batman had that was supposed to be um, he and Cyborg and Wonder Woman was supposed to be riding in. It was supposed to be like this spider creature walker thing, and so hopefully that'll be really cool. There's some new Bat costume and armor.
Hopefully.
Yeah, please don't keep spiraling on movies.
Because my expectations are like on the ground. I don't really care. So I'm sure that Zack Snyder knows how to make a trailer. So once the first trailer hits, I'm gonna be like, "What? This is awesome!"
And then we'll go see the movie and find out for sure.
Yeah, we'll watch it and be like, "That was okay."
Yeah. Only 4 kids cried in that movie. It was all right.
Yeah. Didn't they talk about that? Just like trying to make it lighter because like
Yeah.
kids couldn't really see Batman vs Superman.
Oh, when we saw it in the theater, there was people had brought their kids, and there was like one kid that was over in the far corner who was with his folks and was just crying, and it was so loud with all the impacts and fighting that I think I was the only one catching that the kid was crying, like his parents were just locked into the movie. And I was like, "Do you want to like maybe take your kid outside and give him a hug or something?"
Exactly.
You know?
Isn't it like kind of? It's kind of messed up that there's a movie starring Batman and Superman not for kids that kids
Not
can't
for
even see.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, well, we remember when we were growing up, this is the kind of show we wanted. Well, yeah, well, you also can make it a little more available to a larger audience if one, you have characters people care about, and not whatever you've created here in the recent movies that you've done. Not like I couldn't even really look up to the characters of Superman and Batman in the movies. I looked forward to having the hero that you could want to emulate and be proud to look to look up to. Don't get me
True.
started on Man of Steel.
But we don't have to talk about it
Thank you.
because I'll go off too. We don't need a whole podcast of both of us just talking about all the things we don't like.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find some good things. But before we do, so apparently Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns are working on the Batman movie. So that
Yeah.
was another thing that guy talked.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure that'll be good.
I'm hoping with Jeff Johns, I hope that Ben Affleck will allow him to work his writing magic.
I know that because I know Ben Affleck's a good director because he's like won awards and stuff, and I'm pretty sure he had a lot to. He worked really closely on the Batman parts of Batman vs Superman.
Right, because Kevin Smith wouldn't stop, would give him hell if he messed up.
Right.
Come on,
So
Ben, you're better than that.
I'm hoping that's good. And that he doesn't murder anyone.
Yeah. Oh, Batman, he can find a way to save. No, no. Well, no, he can. It's like all those people jump free of that rocket launcher. It's cool.
Yeah.
That guy that got launched in that car, and that car got launched to that guy. He's okay. Batman timed it so that way when it caved in, the window was open, and he actually just got surrounded by the car. It's his fault that he somehow messed up, and he's now a pancake. He just,
It wasn't an explosive. It was just really fluorescent
yeah.
explosive foam that saved him. It wasn't fire.
I don't kill them; they go to sleep.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, let's move on.
We had I think the next thing up was we were doing Injustice. I think was the next thing up.
Yeah, I'm jumping around the list. We could talk about Injustice. Injustice 2 was announced. They have some new characters for the new one.
Yep.
Gorilla Grodd, Supergirl, Atrocitus.
Yep.
Did you play Injustice very much,
No,
Jerry?
I didn't. I only got to play it a little bit, mainly because my friend had the game system and the game, and we played in the bar. We set it up on the big screen in the bar and played it while I was there. So that was fun. But then he took his stuff and went home.
This one seems interesting because they're doing something with like customization. It seems like they're letting uh, characters like as they fight, they get like new armor or they.
Yeah,
What it seemed like.
thousands of items that you can choose and make your own costumes and armor and doodads and whatnots.
I didn't really play Injustice that much. I read the comic. Did you read the Injustice comic very
I
much?
read the first, I want to say first like 8 issues, and then forgot about it.
I think they're almost on they're on year 5 right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So I'm a little behind on that one. I'll pick it up. It's
They're, I really liked them. They're pretty quick.
yeah,
'Cause they come out digitally, so they're pretty short segments,
right.
and they're all really good. Tom Taylor wrote them for a while, and then he's writing the new uh, the Wolverine book right now with X-23 as Wolverine,
Hmm.
and that's a really good book. He's a really good writer, so. And then even when they switch writers, I'm still enjoying it. So it's funny that they're almost caught up with their prequel comic when the next game's about to come out.
Oh, they're getting there. Yeah, I liked the. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever other characters will be popping up because they just showed like those three so far.
Hmm.
I also like that in the demo they showed the Ace of Clubs, the bar,
Hmm.
and like Grodd and uh, I always screw it up. Atrocitus.
Atrocitus.
Atrocitus, and because for the longest time, my mind puts in an extra eye in there, and I kept screwing it up. But in Atrocitus and Gorilla Grodd are fighting it, and like nobody really cares. Like everybody in the background are just sitting there. One guy's like wavering on his stool because he's drunk, and the bartender's like going back and forth and wiping down the. But no one really gives a crud that they're like fighting, punching through the walls and everything. They're just like, it's another Friday night and gotta clean stuff up.
Is that the villain bar?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought.
I
Well, maybe that's just what they're used to.
expected. It's like this week we don't have to pay for the fight; we get to see it here live. I liked Gorilla Grodd had he has telekinesis, and he could make you like beat up on yourself.
Hmm.
And I was like, all I could think of was when my brother was like, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?" And he does that, I guess, a bad breath thing because he's like, ah, and you're it's all wavery when he screams at you. I'm assuming that's it. And then Atrocitus, see, I'm getting it right. He's got he'll give you wings because he has that Red Bull. Just, he just blended through with it, and he vomits a lot. That's cool. He
Hmm.
vomits hate, and I don't know if they actually have uh, Dexstar, the cat, is with him, but I don't know if he does anything. They didn't show the cat doing anything.
It'd be cool if his like finisher was like all the Red Lanterns show up and they all blast him at once or something, and Dextar's there.
That just sounded so bad right there. And it sounded like adult comedy there.
All right, all right.
Yeah, they just all vomit on him. That's
Bleh.
yeah. It's like the hate and blood hate vomit, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And Supergirl had the Altoids breath because she like was curiously strong and would freeze people. And I like the layouts look cool.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, I'm excited. I'm more excited if they get a tie-in comic, because those are usually good.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a new Spider-Man game for PS4.
Real quick, back on the Injustice 2.
Uh huh.
I wasn't a fan of Aquaman's knockoff of He-Man's chest plate.
Hmm.
It's like if you're gonna just wear pants and no shirt, the only one that really pulls that off is He-Man. And then like Kara, the Supergirl, like one of her things is she flies you around the sun and then throws you back to Earth. Why not just let go of you before you come back from the sun? Like, fight finished, done. Have a good one. But that was just me.
That's true.
Move on to Spider Man.
Yeah, they announced a new Spider-Man game for PS4. It's not based on anything, is what I've heard.
Right, they're trying to do their own story.
And he's got, as far as like the only thing that looks different, it looks like it's still like any other Spider-Man. You got your open world, you're swinging around, and it looks like he's got a newish a costume we've never seen before.
Right, that white spider emblem that he's got.
Yeah, that I remember when that first came out. I was telling my friend that big white spider reminds me of Venom. So
Anti
maybe
Venom.
Ven.
Remember Anti Venom?
Hmm. But just like this, Venom has the big white spider.
Hmm.
It's not exactly like his, but that really reminded me of his costume. So I was wondering if that's gonna tie into Venom in any way.
It's possible they didn't really. They mainly were just showing about street gangs and being more experienced as a fighter and being able to handle those things. So it looked good. The details and layouts and the rendering looked like top notch. And um, uh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just what they were going for. It's like this is the next gen Spider-Man game.
right,
We haven't really had a really great Spider-Man game in a while.
not since Atari 2600. Um,
There's a Spider-Man game for Atari.
oh yeah, dude. There's a commercial where like he and Green Goblin are live action running around, and somehow Spider Man has a TV set that apparently is on. And I don't know how you're moving around with this plugged in TV set. But yeah, and then they're at one point they're both playing the game together. Yeah, check it out if you can. It was old like 80s fun times. But I think with that white Spider-Man thing is like their like PS4's way of doing this is ours. This is how you're going to be able to distinguish him from everybody else of Spider-Man world.
Mm-hmm. It's cool they're giving them that kind of like creative license to do something different like that.
Right. I mean, you know that they're still got their fingers in it, but at least they're giving them some leeway.
Yeah. Uh, so let's just move on. We're about halfway through the show, so let's head to our Rebirth reviews. We're going to go through. Some Jerry hasn't read some of them, but I've read them all. All the Rebirth number ones.
Someone special.
And Jerry has read them. He can talk about them. But we're just gonna be like, give a quick overview of what happens in them.
All
So it
right.
will be a review,
It is, yeah, we don't want spoilers, right?
right? Because
Or
I just want
no
to see like
spoilers.
what happens in it. If I liked it, if I will pick up the number one. Some of them I have picked up the number one.
Go ahead and give spoilers. I don't care.
Okay.
I feel
Well,
sorry for our listeners. Stop the tape
I mean,
now.
they can skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah. The
I don't know how far, but they could do it.
we will let you. No, we won't let you know. Just listen to the show.
Well, yeah, the next two segments are reviews because I'm going to talk about review and then we're going to go into our top three of June. So if you
All
haven't
right.
read them and you're going to, pause it here, go read them, and come back.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll wait.
Okay.
All right, Rebirth.
Hey, Rebirth. Welcome back. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. You had a snack, you went to the bathroom, back on the podcast.
Awesome. Um, the DC Rebirth special I very much enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
That came like I actually had ordered a bundle from an online service that they had a pre-order special that was like 50% off, and you got like basically the Rebirth number ones. The only thing is it didn't have the DC Rebirth like universe special number one. So that kind of was a defeating purpose right there. But luckily, I was in Springfield, and one of the guys over there was nice enough to give up his copy for me because that was like the first printing is $2.99. But when they went into second printings, they raised it back up to $5.99. So
Right.
you
That was a
snooze,
nifty
you lose it.
change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was I was very pleased with it, very happy. I was at work and I had taken my break and I was sitting there reading it, and I got about halfway through, and it was the interaction between uh, Wally and Barry, and I physically had to put the book down so I could physically clap out loud. I was just
Yeah.
so happy.
It felt very much like an old Jeff Johns pre-52 comic book. It had, and I really enjoyed that about it.
It had feeling, it had emotion, it had something that I actually cared about
Mm-hmm.
because it gave me hope that we could go ahead and maybe return to what characters were supposed to be for someone to once again we were so dark in a world that was cynical without hope. So maybe we're gonna get some more hope.
Mm-hmm.
Down with dope, up with hope.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think
I,
about this
I was
whole?
just
I mean, we talked about the special number one when it came out,
Oh,
So I don't want to spend too much time on it. But was your feelings on Watchmen action?
the Watchmen coming in.
Mhm.
You know what? That they should be in their own universe, and I guess they kind of are because we're all blending in. So the way that it seems to be going is that they're going to be a very large part of why things have been screwed up.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like it's gonna be more Doctor Manhattan. Like, where did he go at the end of the Watchmen series? Maybe he came to the DC universe and stole those 10 years, whatever that means.
there you go. Yeah, and there you go. Yeah, with the watch at the beginning, yeah, that would make complete sense that he's the one that's screwing things up.
Hmm.
Sure.
And if we get a comic of Superman punching Doctor Manhattan, I'll probably buy it.
I'll I did
But-
read the Superman. It was the bundle was it was Rebirth, and then it was Superman 1, and then you go to Action Comics like 957 and 958, something like that.
Mhm.
I have to check the books that I have in here. Yeah,
Uh,
957 and 958.
mhm.
So, yeah, and you have to kind of backtrack because the Superman that's there is the one from the universe prior,
Mhm.
um, and which I was
Because
happy.
yeah, for those who don't know, the new 52 Superman died somehow. I wasn't reading it,
A lot of people missed that one.
and now the Superman who was before the pre-New 52 Superman has been living in the New 52 universe
Yeah,
for the past 5 years, and now he is the new Superman, or he is Superman again.
along with Lois. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's here with Lois's and his son, Jonathan.
yes,
Yeah, so they're living here in Kansas on a farm. Right.
yeah.
And
When he takes back over as Superman, and he's going around, like I don't understand his costume. It should be like the costume that we had before the New 52,
hmm
but now it's like very similar to the New 52. It's like they're progressively getting rid of more of the red on the costume. First, it was the the little shorts, and then now it's the boots. So he's just blue, and he has a red belt.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a fan of that.
Uh, in the Superman rebirth, it's the premise was that it was Superman. He's at the New 52 Superman's memorial site, and Lana Lang is trying to break into and get his ashes to bury them with his at
The
in Kansas with his mom.
Yeah.
Because his parents are dead in the New 52,
Hmm.
and and pre 52 Superman's like, yo, he's gonna come back. I did it once.
He's in a jar. He's
He is ashes in a jar, and Superman's like, he's fine. He's in one of those Kryptonian sleeping comas. He'll be fine.
tis but a scratch.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yes.
So Superman's like, let's go to the Fortress of Solitude and get the regeneration matrix, and he'll be fine. And they go there, and and the robot's like, yo, there ain't no
Yeah. There's
generation matrix. That dude is dead.
don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, that's basically the issue, and it wasn't a very good one. I
So
didn't
yeah,
really
he
like it. Did you read
that
that one?
it was I expected more because I was thinking Rebirth. You're gonna give us more information. You're gonna lay the groundwork of what's to come with your new writing idea and the whole new motion and path that you're going for the mood of the DC comic universe. And a lot of the issues that I've gone through, it just kind of a filler issue.
Exactly. They're supposed to be
Like
like
I
setting
wasn't,
the
I was,
tone, like you said, and it's like this is just like them confirming, new 52 Superman's dead. This is the new Superman. Quit whining about it.
deal with it. This is yours. The Batman. I read the Batman one, and like I didn't like. I have been out of. I started the New 52 when it was coming out, and then I just kind of let it go away from my collecting, and I try to get a few things here and there, but I just didn't. I think the things I really liked was Animal Man and Swamp Thing and Justice League Dark. Those are like pretty much my key ones that I liked, and they canceled Animal Man and Swamp Things. I'm not sure what's going on with him right now, but um, you go around it, it's he kind of introduces a character, but it's been around through the New 52 that I didn't know about, and it wasn't until halfway through the book when he happens to say, Duke, like his name. They finally, I got his name.
Duke
I
Thomas was
was,
a big character in the Robins
mm,
series, where there was no Robin, and like a bunch of kids in Gotham like took up the mantle of Robin as like a street gang,
right.
and he was like their leader. And now he's like an apprentice to Batman. He's not a Robin.
He's not a Robin.
They made that clear. He's not a Robin. He's like Batman's apprentice.
Yeah, but I like still like he shows up at Wayne Manor and
Hmm.
Alfred's there. And first of all, I'm a kind of a nitpicker on this. If you're gonna write Alfred or any character the way that they would speak. Put yourself in their shoes and speak accordingly. Like the first page, the door he opens up the door and Duke is there and he goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, first of all, Alfred would know better grammar and say, "May I help you?" Right there, I was like, really? And then it's like 2 days later, and he's in the Batcave with Batman, and I'm like, apparently, the interaction that we didn't see with Alfred and Duke, well, that might have been interesting. That apparently 2 days later he's just in the Batcave with Batman. We just have to guess that they've had a conversation and he introduced himself. And then and Bruce is hanging off the side of Wayne Towers. That doesn't fit in my mind of a character of Bruce Wayne who is a like Batman puts on a persona. He doesn't put himself out there for people to make connections that Batman and Bruce are the same person. So hanging out of the skyscraper and doing all these things he shouldn't be doing, that doesn't really scream, you know,
Hmm. I didn't think of that.
yeah.
I did like this issue. I know as someone. You're right. This doesn't make a good first issue if you don't explain who Duke Thomas is very well, and I can see how the helicopter scene can be confusing. I just thought that was a fun scene, him like doing some
I mean,
pull ups,
no,
but I can see how that's not very Bruce Wayne-y.
yeah, it's the dialogue was fine. It was just, first of all, yeah, if it's 137 degrees outside, who's out in that?
I don't know, nobody. It's the whole thing is like Calendar Man has like released something into the atmosphere that's affecting the weather, and he like this version of Calendar Man ages with the seasons.
Yeah, where did that come from?
It's a new 52 thing.
Oh, apparently, yeah. The
Sometimes they redo people for the new 52,
last I knew,
like
like
reimagine.
all he did,
I thought it was a fun idea, but
he was kind of just a thug, weird kind of, you know, enigma kind of character, not
right.
with abilities. And here he is, like coming right out of his
It's not
mouth
really
and
a
being born,
fun
and I'm like,
ability because he's like dying, but
yeah, he's okay. He's regenerating and
yeah, because
regrowing.
like when it becomes goes from winter, he dies, and then when it becomes spring again, he's like reborn. And in that scene, he's like peeling his skin away and like crawling out through his mouth.
Yeah, I was like, how do you get your hand back out from the first hand to get up into your mouth? To come, that just it was. I can understand the shock factor of it, but I'm just in the working mechanisms of it. I'm just when you just grab your mouth and pull your mouth back and then climb out of it.
I don't know. I think it's just for the visual of it.
It looks like he doesn't know how to get a sleeping bag out. He's stuck in the
His
bag.
human flesh sleeping bag.
Out of the, yeah, he's got a meat bag that he's in. But yeah, the I did like the artwork on both that one and the Batman. Was it the number one or was it Detective? It was Detective, I think.
I didn't
Gonna
read
go through my
Detective.
legs. Uh, oh, it was the Batman #1. Finch was doing the artwork on that one, and King was writing that as a full issue. I think he did a half read.
Tom King's the new writer for Batman.
Yeah, Tom King and Snyder were doing the like a half and half or something like that. In the Rebirth, they had co-writing, and then King took over. Do you really think he could do that thing with his jet pack seat to the plane?
We'll talk about that later. Just focus on the Rebirth number ones.
All right.
Because that's part of my top picks, Batman issue, so we'll talk about that then.
Right. We did the Superman. We did
So,
Batman.
so there's Green Lantern,
Green Lantern.
Green Arrow,
Green
Aquaman, Flash, oh, and Titans. I forgot to write that
Yeah.
one on here.
Titans. I very much enjoyed Titans, but if we're gonna do it, we got to start with I think Flash.
Yeah, the Flash was
Because I
basically
think the
just
Flash.
a sequel to the special, because it just continues from that one,
Right.
basically.
Right. And you get to see Wally. I don't know why he changes his costume, but that's to each their own.
Hmm.
But then he goes to meet up with the Titans to see if he can get them to remember. I did like that issue very much. Booth was doing the artwork on it, and I remember him back in the days with doing more independent artwork and whatnot. Back when there was a
Hmm.
company that, I can say Wildstorm, which later on became DC owned. So, but yeah, I was always liked Booth's work, um, and I was happy about that issue.
Yeah. I've heard, yeah, in that Titan, we're talking about the Titans issue. I thought we were going to the Flash, so
Oh,
just to
sorry.
clarify,
All right, yeah,
that's the Titans Rebirth.
yeah,
In that one, Wally he's going to meet with Nightwing to try and help him remember who he was. And like the Titans show up, and and every time he touches them, they get their memories back and they remember who he is. But they're in his memories. They still have their new 52 costumes.
yeah. I noticed that when he was with the Dick in their memory of the Batcave. I'm like, it was actually. I was like, that's Tim Drake's outfit. It was closer to Tim Drake's outfit from the pre 52.
Yeah, it's supposed to be they're remembering the pre 52 versions, but it still has Red Arrow or Arsenal has it still has his baseball cap, and
Yeah,
it's it wasn't very well
I
planned.
mean,
I don't think.
I could give leeway to the Kid Flash costume. That was okay because if they were going way back in memories of stealing, and running around in the Batmobile, um, that I could go ahead and give you Kid Flash's costume because that sounds like something he and Dick would do. But Dick needed to have the little elf boots on and the skin show and on his legs and running around the old classic, Robin costume.
Right.
Yeah, I mentioned that when I was reading it, and I was like, that's okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go with it.
Hmm.
The issue was gonna. Do we want to back up for the Flash issue?
Oh, we could talk about it. Yeah.
I did like Flash. Once again, we touched on him being the police scientist with forensics and touching on a related topic of his mother's murder.
Hmm.
So I mean, and that made perfect sense when you're reading it that they went through and they kind of for a new reader they would be able to like know what's going on much better than I think than the Batman issue.
Yeah, I think that if you read the special and read this one, it would make sense because
Yeah.
they go into because Wally shows up again in this one,
Hmm.
like what led up to that and a little bit what happens after. And I like that one a lot. I like the art actually. I think it gave like a good sense of motion.
Hmm. Yeah. Who was doing the artwork? It was
I don't remember. He was doing all new X Factor for a while. I remember. So I really liked that one.
it was Carmine. Carmine
Yeah.
the artwork on it, and he has a look that I mean he gives you form, he gives you emotion, he gives you an entertaining um, drawing work. I mean, some of his angles are pretty hard, but at the same time, it's his style. I like it.
Hmm. I thought it was great. I did read the number one. The number one. Have you read the number one after this one?
No, I just started reading that before we started this broadcast.
I really enjoyed that one as well. So I'd say if you're interested in the Flash, uh, that's one you can pick up. That's one I'm gonna continue to pick up. Some of these, I'm gonna go into which
Me
ones I'm
too.
gonna keep reading, but the Flash is definitely one that I'm gonna continue to read.
I thought that I'd probably continue with Flash and Titans. Pretty much anything that Wally's touching,
Hmm.
I'm gonna probably keep with because and possibly Green Lanterns.
Yeah, I'm gonna give. I read the number one for Green Lantern. The Rebirth was about Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz are the two lanterns of. I think they're the only ones on Earth now, because everyone else is in space.
Yeah,
And in that issue, Hal like combines their lanterns into one lantern, so they can only use it when they're together, as like a training exercise, and they don't get along.
at the same
Basically,
time is I think a horrible idea if there's an
yeah,
emergency or something like that.
exactly. But I'm gonna give it a try because I like Sam Humphries. He's writing it,
Hmm.
and I think the villain of the first arc is gonna be the Red Lanterns, which is like I feel like all we're getting is like lantern villains, but
Yeah. Once
it's
again, Atrocitus
yeah,
is there. I didn't. I read. Are we going to talk about? I read that one.
yeah. We can talk about it.
Well, the only thing I really had a big problem with is we're doing so much with the Spectrum still
Hmm.
that we've kind of like we're so doing inner battles with all these the color lanterns. We're kind of forgetting about other stuff going on in the world. It's like these
Exactly.
little private secret wars, not Marvel, but private wars. Let's go that route, and kind of forgetting about the rest of the universe.
Hmm.
And Larfleeze is on the cover, but he's not in the book at all. I'm like, there, he's right there. Yep, but nope, he's not in it. I was like,
Yeah,
lost on that one.
I don't know what's going on with him. I
It
like
was
for them to just to do like them fighting someone on Earth, like the Tattoo Man or something, since they're on
right,
Earth. But who knows?
and battles don't have to be these epic things. They could just be, just doing some, safety saves for people that are in fires or like not just the action doesn't have to be not the battle but having battles with just regular villains. I'm tired of seeing all the heroes fight one another.
Hmm.
What are the villains doing? They're just probably just under the ground going, well, I've got all this cash and no one's fighting me and I'm kind of feeling bored.
Exactly. And then Green Arrow number one, the Rebirth
I read
Green Arrow.
the Green Arrow. I felt it was kind of just a, hey, we got to have Dinah and Ollie really have a proper meeting so we can
Yeah.
go from there. And my bad, that was my phone.
Break.
I'm thinking at some point you should just have Wally go through and static electricity everybody so
Hmm.
everybody's on the same page, and then we can move from there.
Yeah. Because like in the New 52, they didn't really have a relationship, and so I think they're trying to be like, they have a relationship again, yay!
Yeah, yeah. And hey, wait, they were married. What's gonna happen when they find out that they were married?
I don't know. I remember I really like this art in this issue.
Yeah, and the I kind of like the underground people.
Hmm.
It's like a new threat. I think his artwork kind of reminds me a little bit of actually like Black Science.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've read that.
Yeah.
It that's I'm not familiar with who did the artwork for that. I'm drawing a blank,
I don't remember either.
but it looks very similar to. It might even be the same guy. Schmidt. That was
I've heard it
anyway.
compared to Ryan Otley's art, kinda, like a rougher version of his. It's not Ryan Otley, but
No.
the guy who does Invincible sometimes.
Hmm.
Uh, it's like a rougher version of that, and I like it. I picked up the number one. I don't think I'm gonna keep reading it because I sort of lost my interest. But that first Rebirth issue was good, and if you like Green Arrow, I definitely say give it a try.
Yeah. Another thing that I found was very comical is I don't think anyone was really paying attention. But like Green Arrow, you have the Rebirth issue number one. It looks great and everything. You're going through it, and you get towards the end, and there's an advertisement for Green Arrow Rebirth number one in the same book. That is it. It's
Mhm.
someone just kind of dropped the ball. But hey, Weird Al Yankovic is on Comedy Bang Bang now, so that's great.
Cool. Aquaman Rebirth number one. Did you read that one?
I haven't read that one yet. I'm looking forward to Aquaman, especially if we can, like, of the new 52. I need to correct. I did like the first story arc of Aquaman, specifically like the first issue of Aquaman and the new 52.
Hmm.
Like that one.
This really feels like that. It really feels like they're just they haven't really changed Aquaman that much. It feels like how Aquaman was when I read him at Jeff Johns' first run, and I read the Jeff Parker run. That was really good. It just feels like that, and I feel like they're just flipping a coin to see who the villain's gonna be, and like on one side of the coin it's Black Manta, and on the other side of the coin it's Ocean Master. Those are like the only two people they use.
Yes.
It's like this.
Pretty.
Does Aquaman have anyone else?
Um. Uh. Like
So it feels like they don't. He doesn't.
no, I like the Bens, I guess.
They came up with a really cool guy in Jeff Parker's run where he's like a chimera. He's called Chimera, I think, and he's just like this scientist grafted all of these different organs of different fish onto this guy, and he has like all these different things, and he can like shapeshift, and he has like greater command over ocean life than Aquaman does.
But,
He was really cool. I'd love to see him come back.
I'd rather see him fighting the human centipede.
Oh no!
No,
Yeah,
don't eat that. You know what happened?
yeah. So if you like Aquaman, I'd say give it a try.
I do like Aquaman, and I also like that Eaton and is doing some of the artwork on there. So
The art was definitely good.
I would
And then
winning
we got
Ross.
Wonder Woman Rebirth number one.
Wonder Woman. I haven't given her due. Um,
This is Greg Rucka's back on the book. I've heard his run on it was good. He has had one before. I had never read it.
mhm.
I keep being told that it's good, so I'm giving this a try. I read the this one and number one, and neither of them were really caught my attention.
Right.
Like he's doing every other issue is going to be a different story. So all the odd numbers are going to be set in present day, and all the even numbers are going to be
Flashback.
like a Wonder Woman year one kind of story.
See, I would like to see more issues going for the full story in one issue. Like they tend to, so they can get their story arc for a trade paperback. They always seem to kind of drag it out, and like I've been going back through and rereading my classic stuff from the '80s,
Hmm.
and really enjoying that and wondering, how is it that I pay more and read faster now? And it's not that the content that a faster reader. It's there's not as much content as what there was in the '80s, especially when you go from like George Perez's Wonder Woman in '87. That was just I think it took me. Normally nowadays I get through a book within like 10 to 12 minutes, but I tend to look at the artwork as I read, so it takes me a little longer. Like that run in '87, I think even nowadays takes me about like 35 minutes to get through it because there's so much artwork, there's so much writing, there's so much there. There's a lot. It was well worth the 75 cents that I paid for it.
75 cents.
Yeah, yeah. As I was paying 75 cents back in the day when I first started collecting.
Good old days.
Yeah, I'd work my butt off for about $12 worth of um, chores, and then maybe do somebody else's lawn. If I could gather up about 18 or 20 bucks, I'd buy every issue I wanted for the week, and I'd probably get like every other week I get either like bags of Mac boards, or I'd save up, and once a month I could get like maybe a short box.
Cool. So for the listeners at home, Jerry is 80 years old.
Hey, Methuselah, I'm not that old. I gotta change my depends.
All right, those are the Rebirth reviews. Jerry, if you could, let's say if you could say pick one book, this is the one you gotta read. Which one do you
Um,
think it would be?
really, like I'd say I'd have to backtrack and say, the special.
Hmm.
The special is definitely one like Johns is doing it, Frank's doing the artwork, Gary Frank, and it has that like I said that moment with the flashes that's just amazing. But if I have to pick one of the June releases, because this was
Yeah, like the books like an ongoing series from these Rebirth
from
that
these
you were
Rebirth,
like.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the continuation with Flash,
Hmm. I
either
think
Flash,
that's my pick too.
Flash or Titans, one of the two. But it's kind of like you want to go Flash and then Titans right after it, so. Because
Hmm.
that's where Wally ends up going right after that issue.
Okay, I agree. The Flash was the best one,
Yes.
and its continuation into its number one is keeps that pace of how good it was. Where some of the other ones sort of lose their steam. I feel like the Flash is continuing his pace. Puns.
No, I
Uh,
get you're doing that. Okay.
so let's just transfer right into our top three of June. Jerry, you said you haven't really read that many books in June, so
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and like Flash is a picker. I'm gonna say the Flash titles, Flash, Flash One, and the Titans would be my three.
okay. Well, you just screwed it all up because we're gonna go one at a
Oh
time, but
Lord.
you just blew
Oh,
your
okay.
wad, so
All right.
I'm gonna go.
I bet.
All right, my number three was Batman number one with in that issue, Batman is trying to stop a plane from crashing in Gotham, and that's the whole issue. He's like calling up Duke, and he's trying to get him to do calculations on where he has to like launch out of the Batmobile to like eject his chair up to like land on the plane, and it's a lot of fun. And then the end reveal was sort of like, I think it was a good reveal that sort of makes you want to come back. I won't spoil it, but I really enjoyed it.
Hey, the Finch artwork was amazing in that.
Yeah, I don't. Some people don't like Finch. I like, but I do.
I like Finch.
A lot of reviewers are like, well, one of the review shows are like they don't really like him, but it's like I don't know. I like him. I can't draw like that.
Yeah. I remember like back in the day when he was working for it was with Image and or actually like the branch out the Top Cow stuff, and he was doing Ascension, I think, and someone like told him he didn't know how to draw women, so he went back and learned and did a very good job because then he brought out like Aphrodite 9
Hmm.
and like Spider Woman, like specifically like the New Avengers, where you're like you can draw Spider Man, a Spider Woman all day long if you want. Finch, you did a great job.
Yeah, that Batman was good. My number two pick was Daredevil number eight, by Charles Soule, and this one Daredevil is in China. He's following a lead after Black Cat, and he's in a poker tournament, but he can't see his cards, so he's only using his senses to like do people's tells and uh, if they're bluffing and stuff like that. And it was I wrote that was a good part of it, and like the main guy is telepathic, and so he's trying to read. That's how he wins. He's like trying to read Daredevil's mind to see what his hand is, but he can't see his cards because Daredevil can't see his cards.
That's actually some genius writing right there.
And that was a really great, just a really great premise, and it was executed well because like while Daredevil is playing poker, that guy is like in his head, and they're like fighting inside Daredevil's head, and it was really good.
Nice. Speaking of Daredevil, did you ever enjoy the Twisted Mego Theater in Toy Fair?
No, I did not.
One of my favorites was it was just a one picture where it had all these. It's like Daredevil is looking straight at the camera and smiling, and all the other Migos are facing the other way. So he's not facing with everybody. Like Spider-Man and the Lizard are on both sides of him, and they're both kind of just turning their head and looking at him while he's looking, and everybody's looking the other way. I think it's a choice picture. I love it. And when he gets
Cool.
into a court case, he goes and I'll have my friend Foggy Nelson take over the interrogation or the asking the questions of Daredevil, but I have to go real quick. I have to go to the bathroom, so he leaves, and then Daredevil comes in, and so they ask Daredevil the questions, and then Daredevil's like, "I gotta go, I gotta save somebody," and he goes back, and Matt Murdock comes back in, and he's neglected to take his mask off. He's talking like he's Matt Murdock. It's awesome. Sorry, continue.
My number one pick of June. That suspense. Everyone's waiting. It was Superman number one. I actually really enjoyed this one. I wasn't really feeling the rebirth, but the number one I really enjoyed. It was mostly just like a small story about Superman and his son and his family on the farm, and there's a little accident with where his son's cat gets taken by a hawk, and he tries to save it with his heat vision, but he kills it, kills the cat. And a little girl sees him use heat vision, so there's this tension where the girl comes to their house later to introduce themselves, and he and her both know what he did, but his parents don't know. It was really good. I
Yeah,
really
the
liked it.
there was like one scene that I just was like, "Ow, poor Goldie."
I know. Uh,
Probably one of you should have used one of your other senses to save her,
yeah,
not fire vision.
yeah. Those are the three top picks. For a little bit over time, so let's go
Oh,
straight into tournament losers picks.
okay. Go ahead.
This is week four or round four of the preliminary rounds. Last week's last time's fight was Night Thrasher versus Captain Carrot, and Night Thrasher took the win on that one. It was close, but unfortunately, I lost that one.
It's like Night Thrasher just used a skateboard and beat up Captain Carrot.
Basically, I said this that Captain Carrot versus Night Thrasher is the Batman versus Superman we deserved.
This is one you get. Um. So
Very,
who are you picking this week? Is you pick a Carrot?
I pick one and you pick one.
All right, go ahead and pick one.
Okay, my pick is Music Meister, created on Batman the Brave and the Bold, the cartoon.
Yes.
The Music Meister, his Music Meister's singing voice contains a hypnotic frequency that allows him to control minds. It also has the unusual ability of forcing his victims to express themselves only through song and dance, as if they are in a musical. He mentions that he discovered his power as a child and used it on those who bullied him for singing in choir.
Didn't he have like a piano tire or something?
I think he did.
That defeats any character I can choose.
We still have to pick one, so sorry.
Piano tire. And if he had a guitar.
That was a great episode. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did. I have all of the episodes.
Yeah, I love that episode. I bought the soundtrack.
Like I have to pick against that guy.
You're just whoever you want. Well, they have to be obscure, so they can't be like Doctor Doom or like Captain America. So you get it.
Okay. How about oh, what was the Sparky the cat?
Sparky the cat. Who's that?
If okay, now I'm totally screwed up on this one because okay, whoever the cat was that was in the same experiment with Speedball from Marvel, when he got his
Uh,
powers, there was a cat that got the powers too. So that cat.
Let me do a quick search. Niels.
Sure, that cat.
I think that's it. Niels the cat. That's what it said.
Because
Yeah,
didn't that cat go on to become like part of the Pet Avengers?
I think so. Yeah, Niels the cat, aliases Bouncing Cat, Cat, Pennant Puss when he was Penance.
Yes, I choose that cat.
Yeah, Niels the cat versus Music Meister. You're pandering to the internet audience.
The choice is yours, people.
So he just has all the powers of Speedball.
Yeah,
So he can like bounce around, and whenever he gets hit, he bounces, basically.
pretty much it.
All right, those are your picks, everybody. So Music Meister versus Niels the cat. Our first animal, well, gorilla man, but first unintelligent, or no, I don't know. You know what I mean.
Whenever.
First four-legged combatant. All right, so voting for that will begin on. Where's my calendar? This episode will air on Saturday the 2nd. So Monday we'll begin the voting, and that'll go through to the 8th. Everybody. So that's it for the show this week. Jerry, thanks a lot for being
Sorry, I
on.
rambled. Sorry.
It's good. It fills up the time.
If you had nothing to do, I'm glad I helped.
Yep. All right. Well, Jerry, you want to plug any? I don't know if you're on Twitter or anything.
No, I just Facebook right now.
Yep. So if you want to get a painting done, give Jerry a message. I'm sure he needs the money.
Oh yeah, I always need the money. Yeah. At some point in time, I'm hoping to get through some of the commissions that I've built up. I think I have 8 or 9 right now. I've got to get through, and then once I'm done with that, then I can start back in on finishing out the actual web comics that I've been writing.
Mhm.
So I can have those posting at some point in time.
Yep. Jerry's a talented guy. So if you need any art done, I'm sure he could do it.
Thanks.
Thanks again for being on. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully.
Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Beverage Podcast. The Beverage Podcast is available on Libsyn at thebeveragepodcast.libsyn.com. It is also available on iTunes and the Beverage YouTube channel. You can also like us on Facebook, The Beverage Podcast. We also have Twitters. My Twitter is The Beverage, and Marcus's is The Mook86. We also have a WordPress, which is linked on our Facebook page. I don't know what it is because I don't have it written down on my paper. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye.
All right, we're recording. All right.
Like
Hello. Let me do the intro, Jerry.